That's when you know that the frames are going to stay dry, that there's no more chances of them getting wet, unless the plumber cocks up. What happens when timber gets wet? You can see right now we're on site, it's a rainy day, we've just started framing, we've got the mid-floor in, we've got the upper story frames up, and it is pissing down. It is wet, there's water everywhere, and this is the reality of building in winter, building in New Zealand, building in the wet. Fortunately, all of these products are allowed to get wet, temporarily, not permanently. The flooring sheets that we use, they can get wet for 8 weeks before they need to be covered from the elements. And so that allows us enough time to crack on, get a roof on, get it covered, and then we start the drying out process. And if your frames are wet and you're building in a wet climate, you don't actually want to rush the next stage. You kind of want to allow some time for the framing to breathe, to dry out naturally. You don't want to just blast it with a hot heater. What happens is timber is a natural product, so water makes it swell, but it also just picks up the water vapor in the air. So one of the biggest problems we have is the bottom plates get wet, and you can use what's called a high and dry packer. We've used that a couple of times, but it also has other implications. It has flow-on effects. It's not a magic bullet solution. I have experimented with those packers in the past. Personally, I've gone back to just traditional bolt it down. What we will do is we'll go around and cut out all the bottom plates. Once the rain stops, we'll squeegee out all the water. My preference is to just push on with the build, get a roof on, get it covered, let it dry out, even if we have to run dehumidifiers for 3 weeks. I've purchased 2 commercial dehumidifiers. We take them around our jobs as needed. We've got fans just to blow air, even just getting air movement through the build. You even want like the wind whipping through your build before you get it too closed in, because the wind blows past everything and pulls the moisture out of the framing. And so the frames do have to be at a moisture content of 18 to 20%, and that gets checked at what's called PreLine. So we do the roof, we do the windows, we do the walls, and then we will do the PreLine inspection, and then we will also leave it until that's right. That's when you know that the frames are going to stay dry, that there's no more chances of them getting wet, unless the plumber cocks up.